me just tell you how I see this. I think there are only three things that matter. Where are we? What are we going to do? Who's going to do it? The rest of this stuff is smoke and mirrors. All of you young people here, you got your life to live. I believe America's best days can be ahead of us. I think we can recover our lost economic greatness. I think we can build a 21st century middle-class economy that will grow for everybody. And if we do, there'll be plenty of millionaires and billionaires, and we won't resent them because everybody will get a fair shake. Instead of this rigged game we've been playing for too long now. But we got to do the right thing. So where are we? We've recovered 70% of the GDP we lost in the crash that began on September the 15th, 2008. How's the competition doing? Pretend we're playing basketball. How's the competition doing? Germany 60%, Japan 50%, Great Britain 30%. Not cause for applause, but you ought to pause before you put the gang back in there that dug us in the hole in the first place. And so what do we need to do? We need more jobs. We know where the jobs are going to come from, all over America. The jobs are going to come from small business, from bringing back manufacturing, from alternative energy, from new technology, from infrastructure. We know that. That's where the jobs are. How are you going to get them? That's what you have to incentivize. You only have one candidate in this race who has offered a plan to get the banks to lend to small businesses, who has offered a plan to give tax credits and tax deductions to small businesses to bring back, keep in mind, a lot of manufacturers are small businesses, and to take advantage of all your potential and develop all your energy sources. That's what this election should really be about. How are we going to put people back to work? Now, you think it'll matter? Oh, you bet it will. Let me just give you some things that nobody tells you about. 2 years ago, when this new administration and new Congress started, the United States had exactly 2% of worldwide manufacturing of these high-powered batteries that make hybrid electric vehicles and all-electric cars. Just 2%. Once they got a 30% manufacturer's tax credit, 30 plants were announced in America. 30. 17 went to Michigan with the second highest unemployment rate in America. When they all get built, we'll have 20% of the world's capacity, and by 2014 we'll have 40% of the world's capacity, and we'll be going back to being a great manufacturing power again. The highest unemployment rate in America is in Nevada. I was out there the other day, and I saw something I thought I would never see in my lifetime. 4,500 new jobs announced in 2 plants. One to make LED lights, hyper efficient. The other to make wind turbines. And guess what? Here's the real kicker. The companies belong to Chinese people who finally are bringing us some jobs instead of the other way around. I think that's a pretty good thing. And they said, they made no bones about it. So we did it because we finally have been given the incentives to make it economical to manufacture here. Yeah, we pay Americans a lot more money, but we don't have to transport this stuff. Your country is finally serious about competing with us for the future in alternative energy, and this is your reward. We can do more of that. Kentucky can have these jobs. Everybody can have these jobs. But not if you put somebody in who thinks the only thing we have to do is to make permanent the tax cuts for people with incomes over $1 million. They had $600 billion of debt, and don't do any of these incentives for manufacturing, for small business, and other things. That's the real choice for your economic future. That is the choice, and you have to make the right choice if you want jobs in Kentucky for all kinds of people, wherever they come from. Now I'm going to tell you 2 things nobody knows that would change the election. In making these jobs, you've got to make sure people can take them, right? This is unbelievable. There are more than 3 million jobs in America that have been vacant for more than a month. This has never happened. That is, they're trying to hire people. This has never happened coming out of a recession before. Why? Well, we're not mobile like we used to be because more than 10 million of us live in homes that are worth less than our mortgages, so people can't move or their credit's toast. We got to fix that. But Here's the other problem. A little company advertises for 20 tool and die workers. 500 people apply. 2 of them have been trained because they cut back on all that training in the last 8 years. So we got to fund that. Rand Paul wants to get rid of the Department of Education. All the Republicans have endorsed 2 different budgets that call for, at a minimum, a 25% across the board in all education funding. You know what that means, don't you? It means bye-bye 3 million jobs. You ought to be able to get that money in Kentucky. The governor should get a list every month of every job that's been vacant more than a month, plus the money to train. Give it to the employer. Give it to a training program. Give it to a community college. Put the people to work. Unemployment would go down 2% within a month if we did that. Not if you eliminate the Department of Education and get rid of 25% of the funding. And this anti-tax crowd ought to ask, what in the living daylights of local school districts of Kentucky and America are going to do once they cut federal aid 25%. I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to come to you and beg you to raise property taxes at a time when we got no business doing that. They're not really interested in cutting your taxes. They're interested in cutting my taxes. And every other millionaire in America, I love saying this, I never had any money until I got out of the White House. And now that I do and don't need any more, I'm the most important person in the world to these people. It's people in my income group paying for all these anonymous ads, bashing him and distorting his record and distorting what will really happen if you send him to the United States Senate. Follow the money here, folks. And I'm just like Jack. When I was a boy, my mother told me, Bill, if you ever want to criticize somebody, you stand up, put your shoulders back, look them in the face, make sure they know your name, and tell them what you disagree with. Don't sneak around in the back like a coward. There is a reason these committees have anonymous donors. They know if you knew who they were, you know why they're saying what they're saying, and it would make him more votes. So I'm telling you, you want those 2 million people to go to work? You better vote for this man for the United States Senate.